Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead podcast. We are the two chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone, welcome to episode 102, July 3rd.
Yep.
One more day to the 4th of July.
Yep.
Freedom.
Yep.
So yes, fireworks day. We already did fireworks last weekend.
Yeah, Hinckley does it the weekend before.
Yep. So we were down at the end of the lane with the kids. Had some sparklers. Kids had fun.
Yeah. The oldest, that was her first sparkler.
Yeah. And then a few boxes of fireworks were set off.
Yeah. Yeah. They were good.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Fireworks in a yard. It's not my favorite, but
I know.
it was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the yard. It was,
over the field.
Yeah.
We just got a ton of rain.
Yeah.
So, what did we get, 5 or 6 inches of rain over the past week?
Yeah.
So, it's definitely the garden is loving it.
Yeah, I don't think I have to water this week yet.
Yeah, I don't think you have either. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
So, we made it a little more difficult to get back to the garden for us.
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's not too bad.
So, we're going to talk about that because we gave the chickens a whole heck of a lot more room.
Yes. So, we've been talking about extending the run.
Mm-hmm.
So, you bought all this stuff to extend the run, and we still are.
Mm-hmm.
And then ticks have been so bad lately that I said, on a whim, what do you think if we, made it so the chickens could be in our yard? And so, 5 minutes later...
Because I don't say no.
I know. You had the stuff ordered, and it took a little doing. At first, I thought we were going to have to replace what you bought.
Yeah, but we made it work. So, I originally bought all this 3-foot tall step-in stake posts, and I thought they were supposed to be 4-footers, but they were measuring with the
yeah, which doesn't make sense.
The stake itself.
Yeah, it's who measures that?
Right. So they're actually 32 inches tall or something. Mm. And we got 4-foot tall fencing. 4 foot by 50 foot long, which worked out really good. Mm-hmm. I like this stuff. It's real lightweight.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked because it looks nice.
Right.
It's dark. So
there was a complete and utter failure the first time I put it up. And I ordered a whole bunch of other stuff, because I wanted to do it like the omelet fencing, which is stupidly expensive.
Yeah, well, it's the name.
But I kind of wanted to set it up like that. I knew how long our run is. We had a friend of ours come over with the wheel and actually measure out where we're going to put everything. And he measured it out at 130-something feet. Mm-hmm. So we knew that one from omelet wasn't going to work, which was $330. Mm-hmm. I think all in we're probably $250.
Yeah,
doing it ourselves with the step-in stake posts because we still used them. Mm-hmm. But on the ends where I needed to pull it tight, I used U posts and T posts,
which we have had.
Yeah,
we've had a pile of them for a while.
Because I bought a pile of them when we did the original outdoor chicken run. So,
and we must have just gotten them from somebody at some point.
No, I got them at Rooking.
I thought somebody gave us a bunch of them because some of them are kind of gnarly looking.
Maybe the T posts, but not the U posts.
Okay.
So, because I remember buying those.
Okay.
So they're 5 foot tall, maybe a little bit over. They're too tall for the 4-foot fencing. There's still a little bit that sticks above it, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
In a couple spots. But I ended up putting that on the ends so I could cinch those kind of tight and tie them. One is tied to the house. One is anchored with a U channel and a T post. So they're anchored into the ground right next to each other and then zip tied together. And then on the edge, I did so that's where the door is. So we have 2 doors.
Gates.
And then I did, at another corner, I did the same thing, T-post with a U-post. And then I cut all the way across our garden. Because we wanted to keep them out of the garden because we know that's the first place they're going to go.
Yeah. So the problem was when you got this poultry netting, you were like putting the squares notched into the whatevers.
Yes.
On the posts.
Yeah. So the like little holders in them, and I started at the top of the netting, and I really should have started at the bottom. Yeah. So had I started at the bottom, it probably would have worked out. Mm-hmm. But we couldn't pull them tight.
It's like they weren't square.
Right. So the fencing that we got, it was like 4 foot wide exactly, but it was not cut
straight.
So it like went off on an angle.
Yeah.
So we are going to put show notes in there, so just be aware if you order what we got, it's going to be like that.
Yeah. So because your wife will probably come out and go, yeah.
Yeah. So I started putting all this stuff together the first night, and I think I got like the first 50 feet up, and I got it, and I'm like, all right, come on here. And I already knew exactly what you were going to say because it looked like shit. Like complete nutter shit.
Yeah.
And we don't hide things, so I posted a picture in Telegram, and I said, okay, here's a failure for you guys. It looks like shit.
And we were out there for a long time, and we were talking about cattle panels and all this stuff because the neighbor we get along with, when you said we were going to have our chickens out, he came out and said, I don't want them in my yard.
Right.
So it was like, oh shit, we don't want them to get out.
Yeah.
It ended up being maybe he was just having a day, and it was like, okay, no, it's I mean, if one gets out, it's not a big deal. So it was like, okay, like we're pretty sure they're not, but
I don't think they're going to get out.
It kind of took the like pressure off a little bit.
But it was still, we wanted to make sure that they wouldn't get out.
Right.
So we needed to put a fence up, and this was the most economical route I came up with. It didn't work. It was a complete and utter failure the first go. And then I posted in Telegram. Somebody came back and said, get T-post and U-post.
It was also like 1,000 degrees that night.
Yes. Yes. So that was like 95 and 110% humidity. It was horrible that night.
Yeah.
And I think I was just done. So I came back in, regrouped. I talked to a couple people in Telegram, and they're like, T-post and U-post. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll see what we got. We'll do cattle panels. We'll do T-posts. It'll look nice. We'll be done with it. And I'm like, you know what? We got a bunch of U-posts underneath, out by the garden. So there's like a pile of them out there, 15 of them, 10 or 15. So I went out and grabbed all those, pulled those all out, and then a couple days ago I started from scratch. And I started on the opposite end of the yard with it to see if it would work. So I didn't have to tear down what I had already done, because I was going to go back and redo that anyway. So I started at the opposite end, and I got it to work. And you actually came out and said it looked really good. Like it worked perfect. We got the gates exactly where we need them in the garden, and going down to the pond. And they're 4 foot wide. So I can sneak the mower through them if I have to get the mower in the backyard, which is a big plus, even though we have our mowing crew wandering the yard right now. So I think it's going to work out, I think. I'm kind of excited. Maybe some weed whacking. Maybe we may have to get the mower in every once in a while. So
like the push mower?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what it looks like around the garden. I mean, I usually have to weed whack that anyway, so to do a couple more feet isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, because I left you about 3 feet all the way around the garden.
Yeah.
So that way you get at the garden from both sides and not have that issue, and just have more room.
Yeah, you got to get on both sides.
Right. So it turned out I finished it up last night.
Yeah.
Because I came home from work and I put the last little bit up because we finally got the last roll that we needed. The last roll of 50-footer came in. I spent probably 20 minutes putting it up, maybe half hour.
Yeah.
Got it all staked in because I had gotten my system down how to do it. Put the one side in, pull it tight, put the end in, and then go back and put the push-in stakes just to keep it up. And then I zip tied it to one of the barrels we have out back. So we have those, what are they called? The water cubes. IBC totes, thank you. I zip tied it to that, and I put a whole bunch of the step-in stake posts that are not quite tall enough, but I pushed them out a little bit to get them tight so it would straighten up. And then we let the chickens out, and then I finished up the final gate going into the garden while the chickens were out.
Yep.
Because they weren't going to work their way over there right away.
But yeah, they came out right away and found their spots, and...
Yeah, they made a mess.
Yeah.
It took them all of about 30 seconds to dig 4 inches down in front of the coop.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what. It's just maybe I've been throwing.
Maybe all the bugs.
Well, it's probably when I clean out the coop. That's where the straw falls.
Yeah, and all the bugs are right there. Yeah, it could be. And then there's been a few spots we haven't cut in the yard. So they went rummaging through that. They found a whole bunch of leaves. Yeah. They kicked up.
I did have to move. I had brought home 2 mullein plants for my mom. One went into like the compost pile and it was doing great. Like it finally was standing up straight, getting green. The other one, I don't think is going to make it. But I just kept saying, leave that one alone. You have everything else. And, you know, of course, I look over and they're like stepping on it and it's falling over. So I moved that into the comfrey bin, which I hadn't thought of doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just said, you know, throw it in there and see how it does. Comfrey mullein, it's all right there.
Yeah, it doesn't like moving, so we'll see if it survives. But
yeah, we just got to water it a little extra and we'll be good to go.
Yep.
I think. So, but yeah, they made it pretty much all the way around the yard. They have not ventured. Every time they go venture over by the rabbits, it's kind of funny.
Somebody, one of the rabbits bounces, and then they all go, scurrying over.
Yeah, so if you don't have rabbits, they thump on their cages to scare things away. And Thor, or it's got to be either Thor, Coco, or Valentine. Man, they are loud.
Yeah, all sounds like.
Yeah, and the chickens are like 3 feet up in the air, and they all go running back to the coop. So, but give it time, they'll probably work their way underneath the rabbits.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, today I gave them a little bit. I still am a little nervous. I didn't want them to come out at like 7 o'clock this morning. So I think it was like 12:30.
Yeah, it was right around lunch, I think.
Yeah.
And then if you've been to our house, we have like a 10-foot gap between our detached garage and the house. So I had to come up with something in there, and it's all concrete. It's a concrete sidewalk / driveway that's like 10 feet wide. So I got PVC, and we had a whole bunch of chicken wire. And it's temporary. It is 100% temporary. I threw it together just to get them out. I will probably pull the chicken wire off, and when we get our big 50 by 50 chicken net up above the new run, then I'll use some of that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me a little nervous. I hope we can figure out a way to attach it somehow. Because I don't know if it just gets moved. It's so easy to move that I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not solid. So it's a PVC frame all glued together, and it's just got chicken wire on it.
I just picture somebody coming over or something. I don't know, or just not getting closed, and then we've got this big gap, and the chickens are just going to go, ooh.
True. Yeah. All right, I'll figure something out.
Yeah, I don't know, something to hook it on, just so it's like, I know it's there.
Yeah. I got some clips that I can get that, like, you can push it into it, and we'll see if that works out.
Yeah.
At least one side do that, and then have the other side, and then... Because I think we're kind of thinking instead of moving that, we'll just have the kids go through the garage and out the garage door.
Yeah.
Because that's really easy instead of just moving that. Because it's right there. It's like 2 feet away.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, I moved a bunch of, I moved my toothache plant out of back there, my calendula, and my sweet Annie, and something else that's in one of those pots. So I got that out of the way from the backyard, because the stuff that you want to keep, they're going to go for first. But it's been fun. I mean, we were sitting out there earlier. The girls were in their swings. Yep. And I had brought a chair out in the middle of the yard. Because, of course, the swings, look the wrong way. So
yeah. But that's the way you want it, because you want to be looking over the field.
But it was just nice just to sit in the yard and look down, and there's a chicken looking at you. And yeah, it's good and kind of nice.
Yep. The snack lady was out in the yard, and they didn't bug you too much today.
No.
So give it time.
I think they're busy.
Yeah. So we're still going to give them their snacks in their normal spot. So we do a lot of leftovers with them. The chickens will get either rabbit carcasses or
I've got a ham bone.
Yeah, ham bone, turkey carcass. We always do that stuff when we're done cooking. If we don't want to use it from that point on, we'll go give it to the chickens, and the chickens can pick it clean. And they get, usually if the kids don't eat all their dinner and there's not enough to save for leftovers, it'll go out to them. So they're really good about that. But we will do that in the outside run.
Yeah, I don't want just bones laying in the yard. I mean, if they bring them out, I mean, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to get far, but we'll figure it out. It's a lot of small stuff. I can roll it over with the mower and not really worry about it.
Yeah.
The next project that we have, now that we can get them out of the outside run, I got to get a new roof on the inside run. So the actual run that is underneath the coop and attached to the coop, I got to get a new roof on that for when winter comes. And then once that is done, we're going to tear down the outside run, and we're doing our baseball cage or batting cage setup with 1-inch PVC or 1-inch conduit, galvanized conduit, and a 50x50 poultry net to go over the top of it. And it's going to be 6.5, 7 foot tall, so we can walk underneath it.
Yeah.
We don't have the paracord anymore. Nothing's going to be sagging because I got all the fittings to actually make a cage out of it. I got the feet pads, I got the connector, the 90-degree connectors, I got 4-way connectors, I got the T connectors to hook everything up, the corner connectors. So it's going to be really nice when it's done, I hope.
Yeah.
So, and it'll be 10 feet wide and 25 feet long. And then that should get it over the original garden that we had. So if you guys have been listening long enough, you know about this original garden. That is at the end of the outside chicken run, because we stopped right there. So we have an idea. We're gonna hardware cloth over the top of that and drop some seeds in there and let that be an inside the run snack area.
Yeah, which I mean now is probably not that exciting anymore.
Yeah.
But there's going to be times where we don't let them out. If I know we're going to be gone all day,
right,
I probably won't let them out in the yard.
Right. And it's just easier. And if I got to mow, they're staying in there.
Right. So if we're at the river and you're letting them out,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah. So they will have a lot more room to play with in the outside main run. I would say the yard that they have access to is about 1/4 of an acre. So it's half of our yard.
Yeah, the whole backyard pretty much.
Minus the garden. So 30 feet by 60 feet for the garden. And they're loving it so far.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting to see if they end up on top of the playset.
Yeah, they haven't really gone near that yet.
Yeah. Or if they end up sitting on one of the kids' chairs.
Yeah, I thought they were earlier, but they were just on the grass through the swing.
Okay. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, one project is done at the house, and now we're getting into the 4th of July weekend. and I can get all my other projects done.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are done. And we are also taking some rabbits down to some new owners.
Yep.
This weekend. So that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So that was the past few days getting our projects done. But we also did something really fun. And I think it was about time to go do it. Because the girls have been getting really into dragons and stuff.
Mm-mm.
So we decided to take them to a reptile show.
Well, it wasn't just a reptile, it was an all-animal expo.
Right, all animal expo, but the vast majority of was reptiles.
Yep.
The girls had a blast.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there were axolotls there.
Yes, that's the first time Ashlyn has actually seen...
Well, no, we've seen one at a zoo in... I think it's in Illinois.
Yes.
Niobe Zoo.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
But there's just, it's just a black one. So to see all the, real colors was pretty cool.
Yeah, she was super excited about that. She wants one. We are not getting her one.
No.
I don't want to deal with the fish tank side of things.
Yeah.
So, we talked to a bunch of vendors, and we wanted to go because we had been talking about getting a reptile for the past couple of weeks. And
well, you found that skink.
Yes.
Or something.
So I found a red-eyed crocodile skink that looks just like a little miniature dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know what? Mommy, here's this. And you're like, oh my God, that looks really cool. So I also realized it's on average a $300 reptile. We are not starting with a $300 reptile.
Well, and we learned that they don't come out.
Right.
Very often they like to hide.
Yeah, they're not... You can't handle them as much. They're more of a shelf pet. So then I got an idea. If we're going to work our way up to this, let's start with anoles. So the little green anoles, they're like $5 at the pet store. And we get a nice terrarium for them, and we learn how to keep them. So that was the original plan. We went to go to the reptile show to go look at setups for this and see if anybody had anything. So one vendor had one anole. Everybody else had crested geckos. Like, everybody was either snakes or crested geckos or gargoyle geckos or just a bunch of cool stuff. We did see one crocodile skink.
Yeah.
So the oldest got to see that, and she was really excited to finally see one in real life. But we sat down, we ran into somebody at the show who builds terrariums, like custom terrariums. And we got talking to her because I was looking at this stuff going, okay, that is beautiful to sit there and look at because it's live. Mm-hmm. And it's real plants, and it's real soil, and it's isopods, and it's the reptile in it. And if you can't see the reptile, there's always something to look at inside the tank.
Yeah.
If the reptile is sleeping on a branch, you'll see the reptile, but hey, there goes an isopod running across the ground. Mm-hmm. Or, wow, that tank's really starting to fill in with all the greenery that's in it. So we sat down and we talked to them for a while, and they had a cage there for sale. And you and I were hemming and hawing it for
we weren't really ready
right.
yet.
Because we didn't really know what we wanted when we first talked to them. Mm-hmm. We had gotten a couple books on anoles for the girls, and then we got talking to them, and they brought up the point where anoles aren't really handleable because they're so quick, and they just run off. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a cat in the house.
Yeah.
The cat likes snacks that move. So that was immediate, okay, maybe we don't need to do that. Mm-hmm. So we got talking to them, I was like, what else would be another option? Is like, well, crested geckos are really good first-time animals because they're like room temperature in the 70s, which is about what we keep our house at.
Yeah.
They don't need heat. And you can put them in this bioactive terrarium, and they'll just chill out. It's like rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to go that route. We haven't brought anything home yet. We're still in the process of researching, because we research things to death, and we research things a little bit more. We are talking with them about building us a terrarium to go in, so that'll be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We get to pick out what's going to go in it, how it's going to look, get some ideas, and then it'll be a month or two before we can get our hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get the crested gecko at that point as well to bring home. Make sure we have all of our stuff here, food's here. The girls kind of know what they're doing.
And that's another thing is we learned that the gecko does not eat. It doesn't have to eat bugs.
Right.
Because we've had a leopard gecko.
Yeah.
And we've had the container of crickets.
Yes.
And that first night was like, oh, this is so romantic, listening to crickets. And by 5 days later, it was like, this is not going to work.
Get these effing things out of here.
Yeah. So, yeah, they don't have to eat worms. They can have them.
Right.
But it's not like a...
It's more of a treat where these guys can live on. It's like a freeze-dried powder with water that you mix up for them, and it's kind of like applesauce, from what everybody says.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to do that instead of having all the bugs
and stuff.
Yeah. Sparingly fresh fruit.
But still, it'd be kind of fun once in a while to...
Yeah, absolutely. And some worms, you can do like wax worms, not necessarily mealworms, but wax worms and Dubai roaches and a couple other things.
Yeah.
So, I know. Mommy does not like bugs in the house.
Yeah. The older I get, the more bugs.
Yep. So, but I am semi-excited. I love reptiles. I always have. We've had snakes. We had the leopard gecko. I like this stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
The kids are, like, the oldest is super excited about it. And she got to hold a snake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was excited. She loves them.
Yes. So this is the one who's scared to pick anything up. Like, the one who will not touch anything out in the yard.
And I think it helped that the snake that she held was just kind of coiled.
Yeah.
And not, like, slithering. You know? Like, it was like when we first opened, and so that probably helped.
Yeah, it was in the little ball, so they just, like, set it in her hands, and it just chilled there. You can see it peeking out, its head out a little bit. But it was a piebald ball python. So really cool looking snake.
Yeah.
I definitely, unsupervised, probably would have came home with it. Because that's just me. And we have baby rabbits that sometimes don't make it all the time. So God. That would be a really good way to get some food.
I just remember those nights trying to feed our other snake and it being angry at us because we weren't doing it correctly.
Yeah.
And it was kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I got bit a few times. I also remember keeping the mice on top of the peas in the freezer.
Yep.
So, I do remember that.
Yeah, and having to take it out and thaw it.
Yep, we had its own little jar on the table.
Yeah.
Come home from work, pull the mouse out, put it in the jar of water, and let it sit till about 9 o'clock, 9:30, and go feed the snake.
Good old days.
Yep. I do semi-miss it. But I'm glad we're going this route instead. I think this is going to be more fun for everybody.
They're cute to look at. They look like something exotic you'd see in the jungle, and not quite like a standard gecko.
Right. So, and there's tons of different kinds of geckos. I mean, we have told the girls that it's going to be one and done, but a couple years down the road that may change. I don't know. I'm not planning on it, but we know how reality is. So, there could be something else coming. I'm not counting on it. It is what it is if it happens. So, But I am really excited to go down this road with the kids because I think they will have a blast with it.
Mm-hmm.
So just to have something at the house and be the holdover.
That is just a pet.
Yeah. That's just like something cool to look at. Because let's be real, the rabbits are not pets.
Yeah.
The chickens are not pets. Timber, our cat, is 14, almost 14 and a half years old. He's getting old. So we need to think ahead as he gets older. He's still doing really good.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to have that in between if we decide to not get another cat.
Yeah.
So, but this will be it's in a cage, and you're right there, and that's your home, and you're not nibbling on toes in the middle of the night and hounding us for rabbit, and yeah.
It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun because I'm not responsible.
Exactly. It's something that I'm going to play with, something the kids are going to play with, and I'm going to try and automate this thing as much as I can because I just know how I am. Yeah. I get busy, and I forget things, but there are things with this I won't forget. Mm-hmm. I know that. So
it'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll just have to figure out the schedule for the kids so they're not fighting over, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like they do with everything else in this house.
Yes.
So it'll be kind of fun, I think.
Yep.
And it's not overly expensive either.
No.
So.
But I think that's it.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
A lot, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of fun stuff. A couple of projects done, a couple of projects in the works, but we're getting there. This weekend's going to be really busy, so we'll have something fun next weekend. Mm-hmm. Provided the rain holds off.
Yeah.
If the rain holds off, we'll get everything done. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
So.
And everybody be careful with fireworks. Keep all your fingers, all your toes.
Yes, this may be the last night you have all of 10 digits, so please be careful.
Yeah, let's hope not.
All right, catch you guys later.
See you on the homestead where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.